What's up, folks? It's MR2. Now, about a week ago, I did a video about sound waves in water using an ordinary speaker and just a little bit of water drop, on a piece of plastic. And we got some quite astounding results from that. And, well, I had wanted to try several different things. We were only using one range of motion with a speaker, which is up and down. And I wanted to add a range of gyroscopic motion, in other words, to rotate the speaker. And I went through quite a bit of trouble doing that. I got it to work, but it had very little effect on the outcome of the experiment. So I was kind of stumped there for a couple of days, and got a link put on the video by a YouTube user, Gentle Wolf. And I want to thank you again for sending that link. That was absolutely awesome. We had a lecture by Professor Gerald Pollack, and he goes into a bunch of information about, how surface tension is a charge different than the water inside the bubble port, so to speak. So, there's a charge potential in all water bodies of water. Each one has its own potential charge, and that negative energy, which is being absorbed by the outer shell of that water, is coming from the 95% of what they would refer to as dark energy. It's feminine energy of the universe, in my opinion. At any rate, after watching that, I decided that well, we need to see what the surface tension of the water was doing in our experiment. And after thinking about it for a few minutes, it didn't take long. I got some dust on my finger off of a shelf and sprinkled it over the top of it. And well, what I found was quite astounding. So we'll take a look at that. And well, here it is in the small bubble. This is about 1 millimeter, 10 centimeters. It is generally roughly in that area where I out the size of the bubbles that I make on this experiment. Then I got another scale set up with a much bigger speaker and about a 2 foot by 3 foot piece of glass on it, plexiglass, plastic. And with it, as you can see here in the small scale, that you, there's definitely an elliptical orbital rotation, multiple orbital rotations around a center axis. If not, it looked more like two separate center axes rotating together. And sometimes I have three of them, depending on frequency that you put into the bubble. And we'll scale this up. I actually got some PVC and sandpaper and used PVC shavings on the big table. It's a lot easier to see. And so when you see this, you see that, well, this is quite incredible, really, to look at. You see when you turn the video off, it completely stops, and when you turn it back on, they begin again. The surface tension is going through eddies and swirls, all these rotation motion, just like what we see in our weather. And this is pretty much just what you're going to see on, everywhere else where energy transfers through a medium such as water, which is the main ingredient in our universe. My opinion, they'll find out. You end up with everything. This is still just one range of motion, up and down. It's a frequency of movement over time per second. This is how the atom works. This is this is what our center of our galaxy looks like. This is what all the stars are doing in the center of our galaxy, rotating around the black hole, just like that. So maybe this will help. Peace and love. Big heads up.